October 2010, a U.S. Marine platoon moved into a cluster of compounds inside Sangin district, Afghanistan, that were believed to be sheltering Taliban fighters. But as they approached the compounds, gunfire erupted from every direction. Machine gun fire ripped through walls, AK-47 rounds snapped over their heads, and RPGs slammed into nearby buildings. The Marines scrambled for cover inside a small compound as dust and debris filled the air around them. The Taliban fighters were already maneuvering through the canals, moving closer with every second. This wasn't harassment, it was a coordinated ambush, and the enemy was attempting to overrun them completely. The platoon commander immediately grabbed his radio. Troops in contact, heavy fire. We need air support now. As always, if you guys want to see the uncensored footage from the video as well as some bonus footage, you can find it all on our Patreon linked below. We still have a whopping 90% off sale going on, so now is the perfect time to join. High above Sangin, a US F-16 pilot was already airborne when the call came in. He turned his jet toward the coordinates, pushing the throttle forward as the Afghan desert rushed beneath him. On the ground, the JTAC was fighting just to keep the radio working. Bullets were snapping into the walls around him as he relayed what he could. Friendly forces trapped inside a mud brick compound. Taliban fighters in nearby buildings and canal lines. Enemy less than 100 meters away. That meant only one thing: danger close. The F-16 pilot rolled in and brought his targeting pod onto the village. On his screen, heat signatures bloomed. Enemy fighters moving between compounds, muzzle flashes popping in the darkness. The JTAC took a deep breath and said the words that he knew could be his last. Cleared hot. In an instant, the F-16 released its first bomb of the night. A guided bomb fell out of the darkness, racing towards the village below.
Bombs out. Bombs away. Oh my God! Bomb.
Holy The rounds are hitting right in front of us. That was our bombs.
Huh?
That was our bombs.
No, both of them. There's two bombs.
Yeah.
And seconds later, the night exploded. A blinding flash tore through the compound line. The shockwave slammed into the Marines' position, rattling their teeth and filling the air with dust and debris. But when the smoke began to clear, the Taliban machine gun nest that had been tearing into them was wiped off the face of the earth. The initial attack had been broken, but this fight was nowhere near over. Because even as the dust was still falling, the JTAC was already shouting into the radio again. The enemy was shifting east, attempting to flank the troops on the ground. In the cockpit, the pilot swung his jet around and slewed the targeting pod. Hot signatures appeared immediately. Fighters running between buildings, setting up machine guns, trying to get angles on the Marines inside the compound. There was no room for error. The pilot selected another weapon and rolled in. The JTAC adjusted him in real time, his voice tight but steady as rounds cracked overhead. The F-16 dropped again.
Dude, they're gonna think these Cobras are badass, dude.
Dude, 2-5 looks like good hits. Give me about 30 seconds for the dust to clear.
No, that was danger close.
Another bomb punched into the heart of the village, erupting in a violent flash that lit up the entire valley. The blast flattened the Taliban firing position just as it was coming online. On the ground, Marines felt the shockwave roll through their shelter, but when the dust cleared, the enemy's flanking force was gone. For what felt like just a few seconds, the gunfire slowed, but then it came back. Taliban fighters were still out there, spreading out, probing for a way in. Some were so close the Marines could hear them shouting. By now, the Marines were fighting from room to room inside the compound. Taliban fighters were so close they could hear their footsteps in the canals outside the walls. Small arms fire ripped through the doorways, rounds punched through mud brick just inches from where Marines were taking cover. The JTAC keyed his radio again. Enemy pushing the south wall, they're almost on us. In the cockpit, the F-16 pilot watched his targeting pod feed. The Taliban heat signatures were practically overlapping with friendly markers. This was as close as air support ever gets. If the bomb drifted even slightly, it would hit Americans. The JTAC took a breath. Danger close, cleared hot. The F-16 rolled in, the pilot released once again, and the bomb dropped straight into the kill zone. Seconds later, the world below turned white. The blast slammed into the Marines' compound. Dust, debris, and heat washed over them, knocking some men to the ground. For a split second, no one could see a thing. Then the smoke cleared. Where the Taliban assault force had been gathering, there was nothing left. No movement, no gunfire, no muzzle flashes. The attack was over. Survivors broke and ran off into the canals. Silence fell across the compound for the first time that night. Above them, the F-16 stayed on station, circling and watching for any movement. On the ground, the JTAC finally made the call everyone had been waiting for: contact broken. In a place where no helicopters could land, where no reinforcements could break through, a Marine platoon survived because of one ridiculously well-trained and skilled pilot who refused to leave them alone. This video is dedicated to the Marines who held that compound and to the pilot who kept them alive. If you think this video was intense, what you're about to see next is on a whole different level. Click on the video on screen now to see all of the released and leaked footage of the Nicolas Maduro capture raid Delta pulled off last week. And don't forget to check out the Patreon linked below for all of the uncensored footage I couldn't show in this video, as well as bonus content. Like I said, we still have a whopping 90% off discount going on right now, so it's the perfect time to join. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.